What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Keyari James, Maryland freshman linebacker. How are you doing today, Keyari?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions about how it has gone so far at Maryland football and just what do you expect for yourself and some of your goals overall. But I like to take it back to where it started for you. When did you start playing football and who got you into it?
I started playing when I was 7. I was just walking by a football field one day with my mom, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So since then, it's just been my dream and my goal.
Right. Has your mom been a big influence on you while you've been playing?
Yeah, my mom's always been the greatest. She's driven me to practice more times than I can count, and always been my biggest fan. So I appreciate it.
Right. Do you have any other big-time mentors that have really helped you besides your mom?
Yeah, Coach Alex at Smart Performance. He's the one who kind of broadened my horizons. Being from Canada, the dream is a little smaller, but
Right.
Coach Alex kind of told me like that I had more in the tank and that I shouldn't limit myself. So he's been a big part of my football career.
Right. Talk about that. You're from Canada. That's not usually what you kind of think of when you think of football overall. But how has that gone coming from Canada here? And then you played high school football here, right, in Florida? Is that correct or no?
Yeah. So I played I played until grade 10 in Canada, and then I moved to Florida for grade 11. So it's an adjustment for sure, but there's a lot of talent in Canada that just doesn't get the exposure that they deserve. So I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to come to the States and have the chance to get recruited, and it's been working out.
Right. Talk about that transition. Did you miss being at home in Canada at all when you started to go to school in Florida?
Yeah, of course you get homesick, you miss your family, but the vision was always there. I had a goal, and I knew what I had to do to accomplish that.
Right. Talk about the recruiting process a little bit. How did it go for you? When did Maryland reach out, and was it always Maryland?
Maryland was one of the earliest ones that kind of showed love, and I feel like they kind of it was an adjustment for me coming to the States. Of course, like I never played at that level before, but Coach Lance, all the Maryland staff, they saw the vision early, so they were kind of my front runner. But that was near the end of my junior season when I kind of started to get to know them. So yeah, since then it's been Team Maryland.
Right. Why was it Maryland for you overall? Why? How was it when you visited and everything? Why did you really pick it?
It's just real here. Like you can tell that it's not superficial. You're not a product. Like they really care about you. And since being here, I've really noticed that. Like it confirmed what I thought.
Right. I like that. Talk about Coach Loxley a little bit. How is he now that you're actually there and not just? I'm sure you spoke to him on the phone a lot, but you didn't. I'm sure you met him a couple of times before you got to Maryland, of course. But how is he actually being there now that he's actually coaching you, and how is he overall?
It's super cool. He's done a lot. He's coached under Nick Saban, and he's someone I respect a lot. So being able to like receive those teachings from him whenever he's giving us knowledge, telling us what we can do better. He's a great guy. You can tell he like really cares about the program. He's not like one of those coaches who just sits back and watches. Like he'll be up there, he'll be dancing, he'll be yelling at us. Like he's just a great motivator. He's a great coach.
Right. Talk about the linebacker room overall. You got some experienced guys, some really good players in the linebacker room. I talked to Ruben Hippolyte. He's a great guy. Caleb Wheatland, Gote. There's multiple guys in that linebacker room overall. How have they gone? How is the relationship like in the linebacker room?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I have great guys to look up to. I'm not coming in arrogant, obviously. I know there's a lot I have to learn. So having those guys to see, like they've done it before me, so I'm excited to learn from them. Ruben's a great guy to learn from. He does everything right, and that's the kind of player I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be a leader in the program and do everything right.
Right. Talk about going into the spring. Spring Bowl is a big deal overall. What do you want to work on during the Spring Bowl? What do you really want to get better at?
Right now, the focus is the playbook, really. Obviously, we're getting better physically every day. We got workouts, but I just got to know my like all my playbook, all my reads, everything. That's kind of the hardest part, just getting into the flow of the system, learning a whole new playbook. So that's my goal right now.
Right. Is that a lot different from the high school playbook? Because I think some of the people who, like me, who don't play football, we assume that it's like a huge jump up. Is it really like that much harder in college? Is it so much more detail and stuff? Like, what's that like?
It's a big jump. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more content. It's a lot more complicated, but I mean, that's the level you're playing at. And if you want to compete at the highest level, you have to be able to do that.
Right. What's the hardest thing about it? Probably is it like just knowing when to cover someone in a certain spot, when to blitz? Like, is there just what's probably the hardest thing you would say about it?
Well, it's like a different language. Like there's just a bunch of words that mean a lot of different things, and like, yeah, it's hard on defense because it's not just knowing your things; it's knowing what the offense does and how we react to that. So once you get that, you're good. But I'm working on that right now.
Right, because it's kind of like when the offense, they kind of don't have to worry as much about what the defense is doing. They kind of can just do their job. With the defense, you got to react and know what the offense is doing as well as your own job as well. That makes a lot of sense. Have you been able to build any other relationships with any of the other guys on the team? Are you close with anyone?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great guys on my team. The freshman class is great. We're all going through the same thing, obviously. So, like, really learning and growing with them, it's been great. There's also a lot of guys on the team who like really embrace their leadership roles.
Right.
So, like, whenever I need help with something, like even like stretching, mobility, like nutrition, they'll always be there to help me.
Right. Who are some of those guys that are probably like the bigger leaders right now?
I mean, all the linebackers really have been there to help me out. Like Ruben's always great. Yeah, I'd say everybody. I haven't had any problems with anybody. Like everyone's just been constantly supportive. Like Trader's a guy always going hard in workouts. Like, yeah, it's a great room.
Yeah. I know Dante pretty well. He's a great guy, a great leader overall. How's like the lifting going compared to high school? And I see some of the stuff on Instagram. It's like earn the weekend and stuff. How does that go overall?
Yeah, you definitely earn the weekend. That's for sure. But I mean, I've always lifted. I've always wanted to be ready, but it's a next level for sure. Like the strength staff is probably second to none. Like they know their stuff. So you definitely earn the weekend. Fridays are not easy.
Right. I get that. Is there anything that they have told you to do, like add any weight or add a lot of muscle? Is there like a plan in place for you?
Yeah, I mean, linebacker is kind of like a balance. So I just need to get bigger, faster, stronger, everything. So it starts with diet, working out, like running, everything. Just gotta be well rounded.
Right. How has class gone so far? Has that been an easy transition for you?
I mean, yeah. It's always student athlete, so school first, football second, and there's great resources, great support. So it's really no problem if you apply yourself to it. Right.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions about the NCAA football game that's coming out. I know I'm excited for it. I'm just curious, what do you think your rating should be?
Well, I mean, obviously I have my pride, but I haven't touched the college football field yet. So it's probably going to be in the 50s, but check back in 3 years and it'll be a little higher.
Yeah, I check back. It'll be a little bit higher. But who do you think on the Maryland team should have the highest speed rating in the game? I heard Ty Felton talking on Instagram that he should have like a 95 speed or something like that. Who probably should have the highest speed rating?
It's probably Ty, but that's just because they haven't seen me on the field yet. But
okay, so you got some speed?
They'll see it eventually. Don't worry.
Okay. So what do you think your speed rating should be around? If you were making the game, what do you think your speed rating should be around?
Depends on the day, but I'd give myself a good 90.
A good 90. That's really solid for a linebacker overall. Who do you think on the team should have the highest strength?
There's some strong guys.
Yeah.
I know Jordan Phillips is a strong guy. I always see him pushing weight, so probably him.
Yeah, he's a big dude overall. And then my last question is, you've touched on this a little bit, but what do you want to accomplish at the end of the day in your Maryland football career?
Well, I mean, obviously the league is the goal, but there's a lot more benefits we get from it. I mean, like, you just grow as a person. Like, I know coming out of it, I'm going to be a better man than I am going into it. So whether that's, like, learning like career skills or like people skills, or like I'm gonna have a degree by the end. Like I just feel like I'll come out of it a better person. So I'll learn the work ethic that I need to carry into the rest of my life.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Keyari, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Make sure to get the latest Terps news at InsideMarylandSports.com.
Yes, sir.